If you're hearing this, I didn't run away. He's inside the house. Tell my mom The recording cut to static. That was the last trace of me. 22 years old, and in less than 48 hours, the police closed my case. They called it a voluntary runaway. But the truth? Every piece of evidence screamed something far darker. And the killer left one clue so obvious it was almost mocking. A half-burned diary page with the word "remember" scrawled in shaky handwriting. The last text sent from my phone read, "I'm safe. Don't worry." But here's the problem. I wasn't the one who typed it. When my mother called 911, she was told they couldn't file a missing persons report if I texted saying I was fine. She broke down, screaming that it wasn't me, that I would never say that. But the call ended there. I wasn't just a missing girl. I was the kind of person who saved every voicemail from my mom because one day you might want to hear their voice again. Every night, before bed, I'd write, "I'm okay," in the corner of my journal. The night I disappeared, that note was missing. My pen was dropped mid-sentence. My family knew the text was a lie. The first red flag came from the police bodycam footage that night. An officer shrugged and said, "She's an adult. If she wants to leave, that's her right." But my neighbor's security camera told a different story. It caught the slam of a car door, a muffled scream, and a man's voice eerily calm. "Don't make this harder than it has to be." The cops dismissed it, called it a couple fighting. But if you listened closely, under his voice was a second whisper. Faint, electronic, like a voice being played back. Someone had recorded that line and brought it to the scene. My mom told the detective I wouldn't leave my dog. The food bowl was still full. He brushed it off, said pets get abandoned all the time. My brother shoved a receipt in his face. Groceries bought just 2 hours before the "I'm safe" text. They didn't even file it as evidence. Then came the twist. The last text wasn't sent from my phone at all. It came from a spoofing app, one that required physical access to my device. Whoever sent it was inside my home, holding my phone, while I was still there. At 3:17 a.m., my phone left the house. I didn't. And then my brother's voice, shaking. "We found something in her closet." The sound of tape ripping. A gasp. A child's music box tinkling from inside the wall. It was playing a lullaby no one in my family recognized. Underneath it, scratched into the floorboards, was one word. Remember. Because this wasn't the first time this exact thing had happened in that house. It was playing a lullaby no one in my family recognized. And underneath it was a name, carved into the floorboards. A name that didn't belong to me. It read, Lisa, 1999. This wasn't just a disappearance. It was a replay. And the man who orchestrated it? He'd done this before. I later learned the police had logged the music box as linked to 3 prior cases. In their records, it was marked as lost in evidence. Lost or stolen back. Because they never told my family the truth. This exact music box was found with 3 other girls. All declared runaways. All forgotten. The headlines from those years, 1999, 2004, 2011, were almost identical. Teen vanishes after sleepover. Police, likely runaway. It was always the same lie. The same music box. The same killer. When my mother heard the name, Lisa, she collapsed. Through her tears, she pulled out a 1999 yearbook. Lisa wasn't a stranger. She was my babysitter. She taught me that lullaby. She vanished when I was just 5 years old. In an old photograph, she's holding me on her hip, smiling. Underneath, in her handwriting, "To my little shadow, never stop singing." Now, that same lullaby was playing from inside my walls. Police had looked into Lisa's case back in '99. The landlord told them he saw her leave town. Case closed. That landlord still owned my apartment. Still had the keys. He was the one who called police first to report me missing. In a witness statement from 1999, never followed up, an elderly neighbor swore she heard a girl screaming from his basement. He told her it was his sick sister. But his sister had been dead for 10 years. Years later, A retired cop left a voicemail saying he tried to reopen Lisa's case in 2004. The next day, he was transferred to desk duty. The music box evidence was gone. 3 months later, they said he killed himself. No autopsy. One morning, my mom found a new music box on her doorstep. Inside was a note. "You're welcome for the closure, a friend." It was playing Lisa's lullaby. Forensics confirmed the music box's serial number matched evidence from all 3 cold cases. And each victim had scratched something into the wood. Lisa, 1999. Sarah. Help. Mia. The walls. In my own closet wall, the music box wasn't just playing. There was knocking. From the inside. One music box was still missing from evidence. The first one. From 1987. The year his sister actually died. Her obituary listed the cause of death as undetermined. And then came a voice note. Lisa's voice, recorded in 1999. "If you're hearing this, check under the floor. He keeps trophies. We broke the floorboards." A child's bracelet clattered onto the tile. It was engraved. "To VIP's sister, love, Dad." This wasn't just a pattern. It was a legacy. And the next victim? They already knew her name. I can still hear it. The sound of the shovel hitting the dirt, hard, frantic. My own breathing was shaky, almost matching the rhythm. Then someone's voice cracked through the dark. "Jesus Christ. There's more than one." The beam from the bodycam flashlight caught them. 7 small music boxes, all caked in mud. One was still playing. They always told the families the girls had run away. But here they were buried in the exact spot where his childhood swing set once stood. This wasn't a backyard. This was a grave. I remember the moment a detective's gloved hand lifted the still-playing box. The lid creaked open and inside was a photo of me. My face crossed out in red. My stomach dropped. This wasn't from the past. This was for the future. The name scratched inside wasn't on any missing persons list. Yet, the evidence log blurred in my mind, but one thing stood out. Victim number 8. Status. Still missing. He wasn't just reliving his crimes. He was preparing the next one. When they dug deeper, I heard her scream, raw, animalistic. The mom collapsed as they pulled out a child's bracelet, the exact one I'd seen before in another girl's case. "That's hers. She wore it every day," she cried. But then the detective's voice cut in. Stunned. "Ma'am, this was buried in 1999. That's when I realized this wasn't just a trophy. It was a blueprint. Every victim after Lisa, he dressed them in the last girl's clothes. Later, they showed me a split screen. Lisa's missing poster beside my own last selfie. The same bracelet. Then came the VHS. The date stamp said October 1999. A young cop whispered into the camera, his own brother. "I found the basement tapes. He's been filming them. All of them. If I go missing." And then static. A shadow filled the frame. That cop, they said he drowned 2 weeks later. But there was no water in his lungs. The tapes vanished. Until now. One was labeled for Dad. When they enhanced the audio, I heard it, whimpering beneath the static. And then the diary. His sister's diary. Hidden behind a loose brick. The last entry read, "He keeps calling me Lisa. I don't know who that is. I think he killed her." Lisa wasn't the first. She was just the first they noticed. The real first victim was his sister. He'd spent 30 years recreating it. A photo proved it, his sister in 1987, Lisa in 1999. Same hairstyle, same sweater. The forensics team found something else. Underneath the lullaby of the music box, there was a girl's voice whispering. "He says I'm her now. I don't want to be her." That voice. It wasn't Lisa. It wasn't me. It was his sister, recorded weeks after she supposedly died. They found a handwritten will. His father left everything to his daughter, not his son. And I realized, this was never about the girls. It was about erasing her. The music boxes weren't keepsakes. They were eulogies. Then the last tape. A VHS clicks on. His voice, eerily cheerful. "Time for your close-up. Name. Say hi to Lisa." A door creaked open. Something off-camera shifted. A modern iPhone clattered to the floor. The screen lit up. One new voice note. And the most terrifying part? The tape wasn't from 1999. It was dated yesterday. The music box started playing again. The screen is black. A distorted audio waveform pulses. Then I hear it. A voice breaking through the static. Help me, he's making me say it. He's making me lie. It's not Namus' voice. It's not even human. Forensic analysts confirmed it was spliced together from over 200 hours of recordings, including Lisa's final moments. A flash on the screen, a spectrogram. Two voices appear. One screaming, the other humming the lullaby. Midnight, the hook. The detective's hand trembles as he presses play on the iPhone. I hear the voice note again, but this time it's been enhanced. Name. Run. He's using the walls. A child's giggle cuts in unnaturally. That giggle matches his sister's childhood home videos. But what freezes my blood is the static in the background. It isn't interference. It's a heartbeat, and it's still beating. This isn't just a killer. This is a man who refuses to let the dead stay dead. 020. The deception. I watch collapse when she hears the voice note. She claws at her own throat, gasping. That's not her. That's not my daughter. On the forensic analyst's screen, the waveform spikes at the word run. Name never spoke that fast. But Lisa did on the last tape she ever made. The breathing patterns match perfectly. He isn't just copying their voices. He's stealing their last breaths. 1:15, the tapes. Grainy VHS footage. Date stamp. January 2000. VIP's face fills the frame, smiling as he adjusts a microphone near Lisa's bound wrists. Say it again, sweetheart. Tell them you ran away. Her voice is robotic from exhaustion. I ran away. I'm safe. This was his formula. Record their confession before killing them. Then edit it to gaslight the world. The evidence log says it all. 7 voice notes found. All match missing girls. 2:45. The brother's confession. In a jailhouse interview, VIP's brother sobs. I helped him bury the first one. He said it was her, that she'd come back wrong. He made me listen to her heartbeat through the walls for years. The heartbeat static? It's a baby monitor, hidden in the basement, still transmitting. When they found it in VIP's home, the screen read, device connected, 12 hours ago. For 30, audio forensics reveal something underneath the giggle. A whispered name. His sister's name. It hits me. He's not just mimicking the dead. He's replacing them. Every victim's voice stitched together to recreate hers. A handwritten note flutters into frame. Phase 8. Final vocal synthesis. Phase 8. 8 victims. Name is number 7. 6 o'clock, a new audio clip plays. Dial tone. Then a ring. A modern voicemail picks up. You've reached, name. Sorry I missed. The recording glitches. Lisa's voice overrides it. He's coming for her next. Stop the 8th. That wasn't a recording. The voicemail was live. And the 8th girl? She's already gotten the music box. The screen fades to black. A phone vibrates on a nightstand. One new voice note. Play me. The phone on my nightstand wouldn't stop buzzing. The screen lit up. Unknown number, one new voice note. My hand shook as I pressed play. You weren't supposed to find the others, but you can still save me. This wasn't a recording. It was live, and the girl on the other end. She was holding a music box with her own name engraved inside. It was blood-smeared, the lid pried open. Inside it read, Victim 8, real name, status, in progress. When we got to her room, the air felt like it was holding its breath. She was sitting on the bed, clutching the music box. Her lips moved. He's here. He's in the house. Then, her real voice cracked through, sobbing, Make it stop. The music box wasn't just a warning. It was a transmitter, and the voice coming from it. It was Lisa's, but her mouth wasn't moving. This wasn't a copycat. This was phase 8, and it was already happening. Her wrists. The ligature marks were identical to Lisa's from 1999. She whispered, almost afraid the air itself would hear her. He made me practice her voice, said I had to sound right before he. In her closet, we found a vocal training manual, its pages smeared with blood. This girl wasn't just targeted. She was being molded. Every night, he'd call and make her repeat Lisa's last words. Then came the voicemail. His voice, eerily calm. You're almost perfect. Just stop fighting it. We raided his house. Every wall was padded with soundproof foam. On his desk, 7 labeled thumb drives, each one a victim's name. The 8th, blank. He wasn't just collecting voices. He was building something. In the corner, a live audio feed played from her bedroom. And then a detective muttered, his voice breaking. Oh God. He's still in her house. On her security camera, a shadow moved behind her. The music box began playing by itself. Later, she told me what he'd said. When the music stops, that's when he comes. Last night, it stopped for 9 minutes. We checked her closet again. This time, we found a second music box, this one playing his sister's heartbeat. Beneath it, a child's tooth. DNA matched to him. His sister's autopsy report flashed in my mind. Missing tooth. Pre-mortem. The melody from the box wasn't random. Forensics revealed it was a countdown. Each note was a date. The last one tomorrow. He wasn't just recreating the past. He was rehearsing. The final performance required all 8 voices at once. I saw the blueprint myself, a soundboard wired to 8 speakers. Labeled, Final Mix. That night, her phone rang again. A distorted voice whispered, You ruined it. Now I'll have to start over. Then came the sound of glass shattering. The music box screamed. The worst part? He was in custody when that call came in, which meant someone else was finishing Phase 8. And in another bedroom, somewhere, a new music box started to play. The sound of a coffin lid being pried open still makes my stomach knot. I remember the metallic creak, the smell of dust and rot, and the beam of a flashlight cutting through the darkness. But inside, there wasn't a body. It was a recording studio. I knew right then VIP hadn't just been collecting voices. He'd been broadcasting them. And the funeral home was the perfect cover. No one questioned screams in a place meant for the dead. The coffin was lined with soundproof foam. A microphone dangled where a corpse's mouth should have been. On the side, a label read, Track 8, Final Mix. When my glove brushed against the microphone, it was still warm. A hidden speaker crackled to life. Testing, testing. Can you hear me? Victim 8? It was Lisa's voice, but not quite. Glitching. Artificial. Stitched together from all 7 victims, plus VIP's sister. The 8th track was still recording. And that's when it hit me. Phase 8 wasn't about killing. It was about replacement. In another coffin, we found a child's backpack. The zipper burst when we lifted it, and human hair spilled out. It matched his sister's childhood locks, and Lisa's. But what made me gag was how the strands had been stitched together with piano wire, like he was tuning them. Under UV light, the wire vibrated, still humming that music box lullaby. Later, in the interrogation room, the funeral director sat across from us, calm as stone. He paid me to let him test audio equipment at night. Said it was for grief therapy. We slammed a receipt down in front of him. Sold to VIP. 8 child-sized coffins, 2003. This wasn't impulsive. He'd been planning Phase 8 for 20 years. And the coffins? They weren't empty when he bought them. The morgue log from that year proved it. Coffin number 7 listed its contents as audio samples. We found a VHS tape dated 2004. On it, a young mortician whispered into the camera. I saw him recording inside one. When I confronted him, he smiled and said, You'll sound beautiful too. Then, a hand grabbed his shoulder. His scream cut to static. They later found him in coffin number 8, his throat stuffed with piano wire. That's when I understood. VIP didn't just want voices. He wanted resonance. And a corpse's vocal cords. They hold the last note forever. The forensic audio team told us the music box melody wasn't a lullaby. It was a blueprint. Each note matched a victim's scream pitch. The 8th track needed a live voice to complete the chord. The spectrogram showed the missing frequency pulsing in real time. It matched victim 8's vocal range exactly. Then came the final blow. A new transmission crackled through the coffin speakers. VIP's voice, warped with static. "You think you stopped it? I'm already in the mix." Moments later, victim 8's phone lit up. One new voicemail. From Lisa. "The truth hit me like ice. They never found his body. Just an open coffin, and a microphone still recording." The music box played again. But now, 8 voices were singing together. The first thing I heard was the rhythmic thump-thump of a heartbeat, pulsing through layers of static. Then a voice, wrong somehow, not entirely human, whispered to me, "You found the coffins, but you never found where I buried the sound." This wasn't a recording. I could feel it in my bones. It was a live feed. And the signal was coming from a radio tower abandoned since the 1980s. The same year his sister officially died. When I reached the base, I saw the rusty transmitter. Its dials were set to 8.00 megahertz, the exact frequency of a human heartbeat. I climbed the tower with the others, the metal groaning beneath us. Under the UV light, a child's handprint glowed on the railing. Near the top, an iPhone modern cracked was taped to the transmitter. On its flickering screen were the words, "Phase 8. Complete." In that moment, I understood he hadn't just been recording voices. He'd been uploading them. And this final broadcast, it wasn't for the living. It was for the one person he'd been trying to reach for 30 years. I ran my fingers over the transmitter and felt the names carved into its surface. Mine, the others, and at the very bottom, freshly etched, his sister's. It was never about us. Every victim, every scream, he was trying to rebuild the one frequency he couldn't recreate. Then the transmitter spoke, a child's voice trembling through the static. "Brother, I'm cold." My stomach turned when they showed me her autopsy photo. She'd been found here in this tower in 1987. No official cause of death. His brother broke in the interview room. "He made me help bury her here," he sobbed. Said the tower would keep her voice alive. When the cops came, he played a tape of her laughing to prove she ran away. The laugh was real, but it wasn't hers. It was the first victim's. I've seen the spectrogram comparison. It's an exact match. When the forensics team peeled back the iPhone's cracked screen, a password prompt appeared. "What's the 8th word you hear?" Then the transmitter erupted into a storm of voices. 8 of them, screaming in unison. Beneath it all, a single phrase looped over and over. "Tell Dad I'm sorry." That was the heartbeat. Not a metaphor. Not a recording. Their actual heartbeats, stitched together from autopsy reports, morgue tapes, and the live microphone hidden in victim 8's closet. I saw the photo on the transmitter's base. His sister in the 80s holding a music box. The caption read, "Gift from Dad," 2 days before she vanished. The final twist came in the analysis. The heartbeat wasn't just the victim's. It was his. Slowed down. Dying. He didn't survive phase 8. His real final transmission was his own heartbeat flatlining, while the tower kept broadcasting. They found a note wedged under the transmitter. "Now we'll all be together. Forever." The heartbeat slowed. Stopped. I thought it was over. Then the transmitter whispered one last time, "Subscribe to the Veil of Secrets, if you dare." The music box lullaby played, perfectly in tune now. Some frequencies never fade.